Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. We're set for today's video, so I am really excited. I look for this beer every year. So this is Troegs Nugget Nectar, a beer I've loved for a very long time. And fingers crossed this year I can score their double. Yeah, so I went to the beer store looking for this, and Lagunitas willetized. It looks like I struck out with Lagunitas. It just doesn't look like I'm going to get some. I've called every beer store in the area, and they did get it. I thought they didn't get it. They got it and just must be sold out so fast. I didn't see it posted on social media. But anyway, luckily they still had Troegs Nugget Nectar. So I did get it. Did the quick math, and it seemed to be cheaper per ounce for a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans and a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans. So, and plus more drinking experiences. So I did buy a 6-pack. Now, full disclosure, I usually don't do that and then drink one before I review. Like, I've had Nugget Nectar before, but not this vintage is typically what I would say here. But I've actually had 4 of them, and it's delicious, and I'm really excited to review it and kind of really give it its just due. But if you care about that, no, I'm not going into this one completely blind. I shouldn't say completely, because I don't know how much they tweak the recipe year to year. But anyway, if that matters to you, just know that I have had this off camera off camera 3 times and on camera once with Chad. But anyway, let's get into it. Troegs makes awesome beer. I love Troegs so much. I have at least one Troegs bottle aging. I think about it. Actually, maybe I might have 2 or 3. Anyway, love their stuff. Well, that's setting a little bit. 7.5% ABV says to serve in a tumbler. Color straw orange. Brewed once a year. Hops: Nugget, Warrior, Tomahawk, Simcoe, and Palisade. I mean, other than Simcoe, I don't really know those hops super well. You know, I mean, Nugget a little bit, to be fair. Warrior, even less. Tomahawk and Palisade, I couldn't tell you anything about those hops. It's impossible to forget your first squeeze. Once a year, as the newest Humulus lupulus harvest arrives at Troegs, we blend these super fresh hops into an Imperial Amber Ale. Excessively dry hopped Nugget Nectar is an explosion of pine resin and mango. And this is freshest by May 3rd of this year. And I'm recording this on the last day of January, the 31st. Whatever, it's settled enough. Yeah, I mean, I would have said maybe like light copper is how I would have described it, but I like what the can said. Still have 3 fingers ahead. It's like a white with caramel coloring kind of a color, super compact bubbles. I mean, that beer looks delicious. Let's get into the aroma. A lot of the pininess definitely coming through for me in the aroma. I actually don't know if I've smelled this beer this year. I've definitely tasted it, like I said, but I don't know if I've actually smelled it. I won't say, I'm thinking about things in the taste that I'm not getting the aroma. I won't spoil anything, but pine, some earthiness, but like it's everything that I'm smelling is interwoven with this pine element. Almost a light floral thing, but again, it's almost more of like a floral piney thing. So yeah, a lot of the pine coming through without just smelling like straight sap. It's kind of interesting. Like it's very much pine how it is in beer, not actual pine. I guess probably does make the most sense. Slight orange, slight mango. Smells fantastic. Let's get to taste. Cheers. This beer is awesome. This beer is just so good. Great level of bitterness. There's some sweetness there. Sweet grains, like cereal grains, definitely showing through for the malt. Almost like sweet Cheerios. Almost said Cheerios. Yikes. Cheerios. The hop, besides bringing the bitterness, and I mean like the perfect level of bitterness, those hops, I mean, it's boring. I think the can really nails it. Like the aroma, I get a lot of pine without ever being too much pine. That resiny thing. It's got like elements of West Coast IPA. Like the aroma, I get the littlest bit of orange, which they don't say. Very faint orange. More like orange peel than anything. The aftertaste is where I get more of an orange presence versus the wet part of the sip. And then in terms of fruitiness, because I do get more mango than the orange, like again, I totally get what they're putting on the side of the can. It doesn't have, a huge body or anything. It's kind of one of those beers that could be a crusher. You could sip on it and contemplate it because there is a lot going on. Who was I talking to recently? I think it was Chad. Now I think about it again. I was drinking it during a podcast we did. And typically I drink a couple of these while watching the Super Bowl. And it comes out this time of year. Again, it's crushable, goes well with food. But like doing something like this, you can really like sit down and contemplate it as well. I mean, look just how beautiful the lacing is on the side of the glass. The initial part of the sip is a little thin. Then you get some nice soft caramel notes. So thinness, when I first sip it, it seems a little thin, body and flavor. The body, I forget about any thinness in the body. Because then there's just the flavor explosion. So you almost have this half a second, a quarter of a second, like you're lulled into a false sense of security. This isn't going to be a particularly impactful experience. It's like just long enough to process. And then, boom, Troegs is like, what did you just think? How dare you? Boom, with these huge, again, the pine, the bitterness, some of that mango. But it's not straight like mango juice, mango puree. It's so interwoven with a hoppy bitterness. Everything seems to have to pass through this level of pine and like be interwoven with some pine. Again, the miracle of this beer, without it tasting just like straight tree sap. It is a remarkable feat for how interwoven it is without dominating at any point in the sip. It's remarkable. A little bit of orange juice that sip, but still more zesty than anything in terms of what the orange is kicking out. And yeah, that caramel thing keeps creeping on me, bringing some nice balance to, still some of that cereal grain, but that caramel thing bringing some balance to the hoppy bitterness of this. Yeah, I mean, this is maybe more of a love letter than anything else, but yeah, great beer. Have you guys had this one before? Have you had this year's vintage? If you had the double, is the double worth seeking out? Again, I really want to try this double. Let me know in the comment section below, or anything else, major life event. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.